I am Clarissa, and I'm your friend, and I'm here. Being in this garage when you first came out with Mel Crew and that whole album of Illness,
Yeah.
that was a really good memory, and how you didn't have a MacBook, and I wasn't using mine, so by all means, use my computer. And just being a part of it, just because you needed my computer, I felt like you were babysitting me.
You helped out so much.
The whole time.
That was one of the stepping stones of how we got to where we are today. Like just being involved in music and creating, and it's good to know who you can collaborate well with. Mauricio, the guys in Office Hours are those people. There's a lot of times where we're serious, but a lot of times where we can get distracted and still have fun in that moment.
Yeah.
You know? Who are some people that you feel like you collaborate well with?
Ooh.
In any creative aspect?
Definitely Bridget. I could bounce ideas on and off with her, and she like creates a conversation of how attainable it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, especially since he's a graphic designer, I like how he's able to maneuver Photoshop and like be able to like tell him and like micromanage him, even though I have no idea how to use Photoshop. You, like being able to have conversations like this and having you send me clips of what you're working on and just showing support, I feel is like collaboration on its own. It's hard. I was a little nervous like coming in here because I was like, I feel like he's gonna tell me what I do, and I'm like, I really don't feel like I do anything, you know? And that's okay, because I feel like I support my friends a lot, and even if it's like holding space or just like lending an ear, but I guess in that collaboration, just like anyone that I'm able to talk to and just listen to, I guess. What inspires you?
People.
People you know?
Every people in general, and then my friends. I'm always inspired by them. Like either they give me an idea just by being present, or a conversation, just supporting. You have to understand that goes like such a long way.
Yeah.
Without people getting to realize the impact. And I tell this to everybody. The support system that I have on my friends alone, you know, like even if it's 3 people, but like it's several, just helps keep me, like it keeps me going. So I think that is one of the most important attributes that someone can hold to themselves, and like genuinely mean it too. Because you can say like, yeah, I support you, and not really be invested.
Yeah.
But really showing that, you know, you care, or that you're there to listen, or, you know, and those conversations continue to spark up more creative ideas and stuff. So I think it's a beautiful characteristic, and it's important.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you questions. This is my show now. Do you feel like as you grow older, your friendships kind of outgrow your current state of being?
Yeah.
And how do you go about that change?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is kind of embrace or accept it, and you can't be upset about it because it's part of life.
You can be upset about it.
I mean, of course, yeah, you can, but like either you're the one changing for the better, or the other person is changing for the better. And like,
Yeah.
Can you really get upset about that?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it, because there are friends that I feel like I've outgrown, and I think that there are plenty of people who have also outgrown me.
Yeah.
Throughout life. It's good to see that they're doing what they want to do. People don't leave to leave you or to hurt you. In most cases, it's really just to focus on what they want to pursue or finish or do.
It's okay to like shift or elevate or change and like tap into or walk into like whatever that looks like. And I feel like a lot of people are scared of like that change because it comes with getting rid of some people or things or habits that don't no longer like fit you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's beautiful though, because like you don't want to be the same person forever.
Right, right.
You know, like I'm gonna be honest, like it bothers me that I don't have like a thing. You know what I mean? Like, but should I allow it to bother me? Sort of. Why do I have to have a thing? And I guess like the Orlando culture, I don't know if it's Orlando in general, but like all of my friends are creatives, you know what I mean? They have something going on for them. If they're not in school and giving that energy towards school, then they're out there filming, painting, doing something in mixed media, taking photos, shooting, making music. And sometimes like tapping into like that psyche, you're like, okay, Clarissa, but what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But going back to like the original like support group, it's kind of like touching into that and like being able to like hold space for someone in that environment of creativity.
Dealing with that thought process of like, what am I doing or what do I have to offer
That part.
can be extremely difficult and confusing.
Super.
And you know, it's not something that I think about like, is it okay to not have a thing, or what is my thing? Like, even if I don't have a thing, like that's fine. Like, you're just you, and we're all like beautifully human. So I don't know like if that is a real like thing to consider, like, you know, in the aspect of like, should it upset you? Like, if you find peace in it, that is totally fine too. And it's not like you don't know how to do anything. You do ceramics.
Yeah.
All right. So that's fire. You were doing a podcast for a while.
I was.
And even if you rebranded that, or not rebrand, but like if you just started it up again, like even if it was by yourself, just like short clips of what you did on SoundCloud recently, like just like a feel good, like positive, encouraging thing, like.
Oh yeah, I remember you reached out to me on that.
I called you.
Thank you.
Because
I was running in the rain and I was having a conversation with you. I was just like, wow, that was beautiful that it touched you in that way. You're right.
And sometimes we lose sight of like what we want to do and who we are, depending on who we're around and or just what we're doing. And like we forget like our initial like superpower. And I think everybody's like initial superpower is really just to help people. Like, you know, be there for whoever it is you choose to be there for. It could be your family. It should be your family. That's for most people. You know, your friends, selective people, like people, you can be selective, it doesn't matter, but like if you really do genuinely like support and are there for someone, like, and can encourage them, not even just support but push them,
Yeah.
like that's the greatest gift I think people can give one another.
I'm a weird person, but I feel like there's like this intuitive voice that's telling me, hey, you need to do this, you need to get this like at this foundation level, and then you'll see like doors slowly start opening up for you. And it just takes that little exercise of like doing something that scares you every day in order for you to finally be the person that you envisioned in your head. And kind of like just tying it back to those relationships, on closing those doors in order to get to that higher self. So all my life I'm just gonna be always going in the path of like my authentic self. I don't know how that looks like. I have a vision of it, you know, but life also takes a toll or its own way of moving. But for the most part, I have goals, I have projects. I just don't have deadlines, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm dealing with right now, and I'm proud of myself. Like, I could have it way worse, you know? All I have to do is deal with myself and tell myself, like, hey, you should get out of your own way sometimes and just do it.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're so caught up in yourself that you don't realize like what other people are going through?
Yeah, I think that happens all the time.
Is that like obviously about being present and stuff, but like that sucks, you know, just like being so
and compassion, that's where compassion and empathy play a role. And I think the more grateful and present you are, which is something I struggle with, so
that part, being present is kind of,
it's so hard.
where does your mind go? Like, why is it so hard to be present?
Oh my gosh, I'm overthinking absolutely everything.
Yeah, you do overthink.
I overthink so much that you could probably hear me think out loud. It's crazy. It sucks because you don't need to be aware of every detail and every body. It's like Bruce Almighty. I don't know if you remember, like there's a part where he's like hearing everybody's prayers.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my God, like you can, all that, I don't want to call it noise, but it also can be considered external noise, will impact you and slowly burden you if you are trying to fix everybody or solve their problems. Like that's not your responsibility. But being able to show the empathy of like, I understand what you're going through, or I can only imagine, like I know it's difficult, like I'm here for you and thank you for sharing this, you know, and just try to encourage them. But like, again, being selective with, you know, who you're actually there for.
Yeah.
I try to be there for everybody, or at least I make it known if you need something, like just reach out. But people will reach out to who they want to also, so that's totally fine and good.
I'm figuring it out. As like pure as that sounds, I think everybody is in that stage of their life, especially this weird time in your 20s where you're supposed to be an adult but you don't feel like an adult, or the definition of what your parents put out back then at your age what adult should look like, and you having to face the reality of like, that's not what I'm doing right now, you know? That's where I'm at. That's what I'm dealing with, and like having to like face with every day of understanding that a change is coming, a transition from like, I feel kid into like young adult, or like a young adult into adulthood, whatever that looks like. And I guess one of my vices would be external input, you know, maybe validation of some sort, or having other people having to stimulate me or inspire me in order for me to like get up in the morning. But I asked you, like, you know, what inspires you, because as cocky as it sounds, I feel like I inspire myself, you know what I mean? And it's only because of like that dialogue that's always in your head of like, I have these ideas, how am I gonna put it out there? And like telling yourself that you're gonna do it no matter what. Even if you're in like a weird funk in your life, but you see the manifestation, like it's super attainable, and you know how to get there, and actually putting the actions of making it a matter of life, like physical matter of life. That's what I'm doing. I'm a super organic person. I love talking to people, like listening to anyone, honestly, like talk their head off. But I don't know, dude, like a weird place in my life right now. I'm not gonna lie, like it's definitely one that I know is not gonna like stay here for a while, but it's generating back up, if that makes sense.